I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Finally, The Rock has come back. I hate this idea that you're the best.
And if you're not down with that, we got two words for ya!
I'm the best in the world.
I fight at WrestleMania for the very, very small percentage of people that walk this planet and say I am proud to be, I'm sorry, a professional wrestler.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
It's Podcast of the Immortals with your hosts, Matt Bush and Jimmy Bellamy.
All right, welcome to episode 42 of Podcast
42,
of Immortals.
it is.
I'm Matt Bush,
And I'm Jimmy Bellamy.
and welcome to the show. We got a great show for you tonight. We're gonna talk about Raw, of course, the go-home show for Hell in a Cell. We've got some WrestleNewz for you right up, and then we have a special guest. Zach Arnold from WrestleNewz is going to call in, and we're going to discuss and give our predictions for what's going to happen at Hell in a Cell on Sunday. So, great show for you guys. We're going to kick it right off with some WrestleNewz, and Jimmy, I think you got this right.
Well, you've got the biggie, so I'll say that for you. But one I was super excited to see because I didn't realize that the day it was released that they were releasing it.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, I thought, holy cow. So there was no waiting. It was there. 2K Games announced the downloadable content for WWE 2K14, which comes out on Tuesday in the United States, and I think it comes out. Yeah, and I think it comes out Friday, November 1st in everywhere else in the world. So for our European listeners, you guys can enjoy that, and you can follow us for 3 days and find out what we think of the game.
I'm sure we'll be
as we play it.
tweeting back and forth about it. So.
And some of the big stuff that is in this game is a ton of characters who I didn't know would be a part of it.
Yeah, and I was pumped to hear these names because it's a pretty good list.
Unreal. But we have we have 3 Kevin Nashes and 3 Scott Halls. Of course, we know Diesel and Razor Ramon are in the game, but we also have NWO Scott Hall, NWO Kevin Nash, Outsiders Kevin Nash and Scott Hall as well. And it looks like the NWO ones are like the WWE NWO. They come out t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah.
But we also have Kurt Hennig.
Yep.
NWO Kurt Hennig, which is, that's unreal that he's in this game. And as that, we have NWO Macho Man Randy Savage.
Madness.
So we have 2 Macho Mans. We have Scott Steiner.
Big Papa Pump. Holla if you hear me.
Big bad booty daddy.
Big booty daddy.
We have 6-Pac. Six.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool in my book as well.
Yeah.
And we have the Giant.
Yes. And how great would it be if Big Show comes through the ring at Hell in a Cell, like he did when he first debuted as Paul White?
That'd be pretty sweet. I could see that happening too.
But yeah, the Giant, which is NWO Giant. Did you know his first match?
He won the WCW championship
against
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember that.
Crazy.
Which is classic WCW, right?
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh, you're making your debut?
Yeah, let's give him a push.
Also included, of course, that was the NWO pack. We have the WWE Superstars and Moves pack. We're not going to go over the moves because really, who cares?
Yeah.
And in fact,
there are some good ones.
There are some great moves, but it bothers me because if you're like me and like everybody have the exact moves, you have to go in there and you have to find who has this move, where to edit it. I don't like that, but whatever. And also, just bring all this stuff, put all the stuff on the disc. I know Street Fighter Cross Tekken did this, where they have all of the content on the disc, but some of it remains locked, and you have to buy it to unlock it. And Brie Bella, you just showed me that photo. I like it.
Well, did you see who she's with?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, they're on tonight, I guess.
That's awesome. We'll have to watch that. It's on right now. We also have included in the WWE Superstars and Moves pack, we have Fandango, Big E Langston, Brie and Nikki Bella, Summer Rae, 30 moves and taunts, including the Koji Clutch and the Black Widow. We also have the WWE Legends and Creations pack. We have Bruno Sammartino, which months ago we were told that he would be in the game. And
then we didn't really hear much since.
And I didn't even think of him as DLC when I didn't see him in the roster reveal. Yeah. We have the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Of course, you can't say that without a lisp.
Dusty Rhodes, baby.
The American Dream, baby. We have Ravishing Rick Rude with his Ultimate Warrior tights, which are awesome. Have you seen those? He's got the...
That was from WrestleMania 8.
Yeah, he's got the Intercontinental title on the front and the Warrior on the back. We have Virgil. When I saw Virgil, I got a little excited. I just hope they have him in the sleeveless tuxedo. The one I've seen, he's got the striped pants on, the babyface Virgil. I want to see the tuxedo
I've
Virgil.
seen Virgil twice now in my life. First was at WrestleCon, and he was all alone in the corner. And then the second time was at Comic-Con, and he was all alone in an aisle. So, good on you, Virgil.
Hawking autographed photos. And then Jake the Snake Roberts also is in the game. I think one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time, and just a great character in WWE history. And then you're gonna, like I said, you get outsiders Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And it looks like as soon as you get the entire, if you buy the whole package, let's see, like you can save $6.
There's like some bonus characters.
Yeah, you can pay $20 for the whole thing, or piece by piece you can spend $26. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can get Hall and Nash as the season pass exclusives. So if you buy the season pass, you save $6 and you get the outsiders tag team. So that's pretty damn cool, I think. That to me was some of the biggest, I guess, like cool video game issues.
Are we missing some people on there?
I think that was it. Who do you think we're missing?
Summer Rae, Fandango.
Oh, you weren't listening when I said Summer Rae and Fandango.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Because I said Fandango, Big E Langston, Ray Nikki Bella, and Summer Rae.
Summer Rae. I missed that. I'm sorry.
You're drunk.
Well, no, Summer Rae is... You don't have to like pay for her. She comes as part of that package. Like when you buy the packs...
Yeah, every pack has a free person. Like the Giant is free.
Yeah, Summer Rae is the free one. Okay, that's where I was... Okay. So WrestleNewz number 2, and this is more of gossip news rather than WrestleNewz. But there is a new power couple in the WWE that could even rival Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And it is former WWE champion, 434-day reigning CM Punk, and AJ Lee, the current Divas champion. Apparently they are dating. They were spotted at a Chicago Cubs game about a month ago. And apparently it has been confirmed now that they are indeed together. They've been traveling together. They've been staying in hotels together. And
you got really greeny.
Well, because they had that whole angle with Cena.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the new power couple. And he sure makes his way through the divas, man. Lita, didn't he date...
Maria?
Yeah. Did he date... Oh, yeah, he did Maria.
Beth Phoenix?
Beth Phoenix for a long time. Yeah.
He's doing work, son.
Just putting that pen in the company ink, you know. More power to you.
Yeah.
AJ Lee is the top of the mountain in that. Wow.
Well, he's got some nice...
well, now that... I mean, both of the bells are taken. So.
Nice options. He's the best in the world.
Best in the world. Congrats. I texted you about that. I'm like, what a lucky dude.
I'm a lucky dude for having seen that text from you.
Yes, you are. Okay, we got to get into Raw. We only got like 20 minutes before we have to talk about Hell in a Cell. But we'll get into Raw. Triple H and Stephanie come out. They have way too much PDA. They make out a little bit in front of the crowd, trying to get some heat.
And Stephanie goes, "Oh, you're just jealous."
Yeah, you're jealous.
To the booing crowd.
You're jealous. Because they probably don't have girlfriends. Says WWE Universe trusts HBK, and Triple H trusts HBK. Big Show then interrupts via satellite somehow. Apparently he's really good at tech kind of stuff. It says that Triple H doesn't understand the meaning of respect. Triple H calls Big Show a loser, and so does Steph, saying he's pathetic. He's looking for a handout, says he's done, and he's glad he's done. Show says he's suing him for like slander and some other stuff. I didn't really Okay. Steph then counts down, and the satellite feed is cut off after she counts the 5. They said, "All right, Dean Ambrose come down," and
extortion. I think he said too.
Yeah, some weird
Which
stuff.
I didn't think Show had any money, so how could he have anything extorted from him?
Daniel Bryan then comes out to a huge pop, and that leads into our first match against Dean Ambrose.
Sorry, I was gulping water.
Fine.
And as always, Bryan and Dean Ambrose putting on a good match. It was nice. It was nice to see that as a first match. And
I didn't understand the promo though.
I didn't get it, other than it looks like after everything we saw, it looks like it was just a way to set up Big Show to return later in the night. Because Bryan came out and said that Triple H and Stephanie said they had security everywhere, of course, to prevent the Big Show from coming in. Bryan comes down and says he has heard that the Big Show has made it through. Then he says he was just kidding. But, of course, I think that's all it was just lay out their plans for later in the night.
Yeah. But that first match of the night, Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, awesome. Really, really great match. I love the finish. The Ambrose goes for a roll-up, and he reverses the roll-up into the yes lock, and I thought it was great. It had a little bit of everything. It had great mat wrestling, high flying, good technical skills, just everything you could want in a match, especially in Raw. Daniel Bryan wins, and just really good.
Those two are fun to watch, and I look forward to seeing Dean Ambrose's character develop, as well as the other guys from S.H.I.E.L.D., but I can't wait to see them as individual wrestlers once this S.H.I.E.L.D. run is over.
Yeah. Which I hope doesn't happen for a long time.
Yeah, and they can extend it for as long as they want, although I could see the S.H.I.E.L.D. starting to break away now that the tag titles are gone. And who knows what'll happen Sunday, but I just don't see them getting it back this quickly.
Although they could.
Start to
that kind of stuff used to happen all the time in the Attitude Era, because it was realistic. Just because you lost once doesn't mean you're not a dominating team still.
They kept those teams together for so long back then, where they had that for at least a 2-year span, a really solid tag division where you knew those guys were staying together. Granted, this team is one of the few piecemeal teams in WWE right now. You have the Usos, which aren't piecemeal, but you could say Cody and Goldust are even kind of a piecemeal team. I'm just going to see how many times I can say piecemeal. But the S.H.I.E.L.D. I could see eventually starting to drift apart. But you're right. They could easily have multiple reigns as tag champs.
I hope so. Next, CM Punk comes out. Another kind of nonsensical promo. Says on Sunday he gets Ryback and Paul Heyman in Hell in a Cell. Says he's going to corner Heyman and smash his face into the steel. Says 3 men walk into Hell in a Cell and only 1 man will walk out. Basically the gist of it. Says he's going to kick some ass.
This one set up. I don't want to say it. I don't know. Heyman. It set up a great Heyman promo for later in the night, but this feels like they've just been spinning their tires for the last couple of weeks. It's to me let's get this match over with. I don't need to hear anymore.
Yeah.
Just do it, get it done.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about the Punk promo.
Yep. Yeah. Fair enough. Next up, the first interaction between HBK and Triple H, basically, isn't it?
For the night? Yeah. HBK was in Triple H's dressing room when Stephanie and Triple H walked in.
Yep. Stephanie is calling for more security for the Big Show, and HBK kind of asks why Trips doesn't think Daniel Bryan can be WWE champion, and then reminds Triple H that they used to say those same things about himself and Triple H, that they weren't good enough, that they weren't, couldn't draw money, that they weren't, the face, all those things. Triple H then says he notices that things have changed, and it's kind of a shame. He's like, where is that guy who used to invade WCW with me? Who's the guy? Guy who used to have fun. He's become what he's hated. He's turned to the dark side. He's a Sith.
I don't think Michaels was. I know Michaels wasn't part of that WCW invasion. That was post Michaels DX. Did he say with him or just the guy who invaded?
Maybe I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But
the guy who had would shake his pelvis in people's faces and tell them to suck it.
For me, the highlight of that interaction was HBK referring to Stephanie as Mama.
Yeah. Pretty great. I liked it. I thought it kind of foreshadowed some stuff.
I think what followed after this was your favorite event of the night, though.
The Santino and Kali match.
Yeah, Santino, Kali,
dressed as Elvis.
And Hornswoggle dressed as Elvis impersonators.
Doing the... they were pulling off their best honky-tonk man moves. It was pretty awful. And that they win against 3MB, and then they dance with Jerry Lawler, because they were in Memphis, and Jerry Lawler's a king of Memphis, of course.
Yeah, just your,
garbage.
Late first hour comedy match. Which was followed by a pretty good match in Orton and Ziggler.
Yeah, Orton ends up winning, of course, but Ziggler looked good. He's always best in that role where he never wins, but he looks good in defeat, and he almost pulled off that win. Just a solid match. It was exactly what I expected. I was watching it, and I told the person I'm watching it with, I'm like, I don't even need to watch this match because I know exactly what's going to happen. Orton's going to win a good match. It's going to look like he's going to lose, and it won exactly what happened. It's predictable, but it was still fun to watch.
This match, it was funny. Orton did not get his RKO out of nowhere. It was a straight up RKO.
It was from somewhere.
And it's because did he suplex? I can't remember if he gave a back body drop. He did something. I think it might have been a back body drop or a German suplex to Ziggler, and because Ziggler takes because he is one of the best sellers and he flips around so easily, he landed directly on his head and looked visibly shaken up and looked really out of it, to the point where the ref even went up to him, and I think the ref went up out of legitimate concern, like, are you okay? And then shortly after that they had the RKO, and I was watching with Shane Moore, and he goes, that RKO wasn't even from out of nowhere. And I go, probably because Ziggler doesn't know where or who he is right now. And they're probably like, just end this match.
Wow.
And I worry about his head injuries for anybody, but especially Ziggler after what he went through earlier this year. And who knows, maybe he just sold the hell out of it. But he landed right on his head, and I think he was, shaken up after it.
I hope he's okay. I mean, cost him his title run, really, and he's never gotten his mojo back since then.
He lost his mojo.
Lost his mojo, baby. Yeah, we're really timely with our references.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, AJ Lee and Tamina Snuka, the daughter of WWE legend Jimmy Snuka.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Did they even mention that? Because I didn't have the volume up the whole time. I
think they mentioned it like 4 times, yeah.
Okay, because I have to admit, I was ducking between this one and the awful, awful Vikings-Giants football game during this match.
The battle of the one wins.
But I did lol to myself when on SmackDown last week they mentioned that Tamina is the daughter of Hall of Famer Jimmy Snuka.
In case you didn't know. Taking on the Bellas, Nikki returning to the ring for the first time. Although, did she even get into the match? I can't remember.
Yeah, she did.
She did. Which is great. She's come back from injury. Brie ends up pinning AJ again, which doesn't bode well for her in the title match.
Do you want a spoiler alert, though?
Uh-oh, what?
AJ pins Nikki on SmackDown, which happened tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, which you'll see on Friday.
All right. Okay.
Thanks for ruining that match for me, guys.
Yeah.
Grumble, grumble.
Happy birthday.
Kali.
The Paul Heyman guys are backstage. They're talking some crap about CM Punk. And then they have a run-in with Big E Langston. And I actually like this backstage stuff. I thought it was good.
Samesies.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. We don't get that kind of stuff where people are just like, not, doing a promo and they're just like, they have a run-in. We never get that anymore. I like that backstage.
I want that trope to return.
That trope, yeah. Isn't that a good word?
It is a great word. And I tell you what, the highlight of this segment, I mean, second place for me was Paul Heyman. He was awesome. But first place was Renee Young. Just straight up gorge.
You're a big fan of Renee Young.
Yeah, Renee Young is top-notch.
Yeah.
Top-notch. Numero uno, SmackDown #1 reporter.
I've heard that before, haven't I?
Yeah, it's Funaki.
Yeah. The Wyatts were up next, took on Miz and Kofi. The Wyatts win another huge clothesline, and they sure sell the crap out of that thing. It looks great every time he hits it.
It's a clothesline from hell from Mexico's greatest export.
I was licking my chops on that one.
My name is Bray Wyatt, and I'm just gonna say some nonsensical promos, but I'm not gonna be in a meaningful match
for 4 years.
And nothing I say will ever come to fruition. It's just gonna remain cryptic, and my beard is gonna get nappy
when it follows the buzzer.
Follow my man boobs.
You know, JBL has become so predictable on commentary that it's almost like you're watching or playing a video game, and you've gone through all the sayings that you can hear now, and then it's just on a repeat.
Yeah,
you know, JBL. Every week he says the same stuff. Every match. It's insane.
I like JBL, but it is comical.
You don't know how good he can be.
He's Mexico's greatest export. What else? He always talks about something being fair if it's clearly not fair. That was fair.
Yeah,
that was fair. Oh, Michael Cole, everything's a punishment now, Michael Cole. Huh? Somebody has a match, it's a punishment. They're being punished.
Exactly. So yeah, the Wyatts win. Axel and Ryback took on Big E Langston in a 2-on-1 match. Langston was looking great. I really liked his stuff here. CM Punk then comes out to help after they kind of got the one-up on him with the numbers game. My favorite part of the entire thing, though, was when Paul Heyman smacked him with the kendo stick. Big E Langston just turns around like, did a fly just land on me, you know? I thought that was great. And, they turned it into a tag team match. And
all we were missing was Teddy Long. Hold up, playa.
Tag team edition.
We had Vicky Guerrero come out and make it a tag match. Or did she make it a tag match?
She did, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Because on SmackDown, it was Langston versus Axel. Is that right?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
Yeah, and Ryback came down and beat him up. Is that what happened? No. No. It was Punk versus Langston.
Yeah.
In a match. Punk wins, and then Heyman and company come down, and Heyman says that Langston, is a rookie, and that he was marginal, and he took exception to that. So when Heyman's boys were beating up Punk, Big E came to the rescue, and they knocked him down. And that's what led to the match on Monday night after the run-in. That's how it happened. I remember. Then we had TOF. I like to call him TOF. I feel like I don't have enough time to say Tons of Funk.
Yep.
Tons of Funk fights the real Americanos. And we had the airplane spin on Brodus Clay. I think he had 5 or 6 spins.
I think it was like 4.
Okay, fine, just whatever. Math.
3 or 4. Brodus Clay ends up tapping to the ankle lock. The first time we've seen Jack Swagger finish a match. Remember when he was in a heavyweight championship match at WrestleMania?
Yeah. How about, speaking of stuff that happened this year, I just think every time I see Punk as the good guy now, I'm like, this man poured the ashes of another human being on someone else. Just this year.
Yeah, like months ago. 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Then the Rhodes Brothers took on... They were on mic for the Shield versus the Usos in the number 1 contender match. That match broke down into shenanigans, and which led to the triple threat match at Hell in a Cell.
And it had one of your favorite tropes.
Which is?
The commentary, wrestlers on commentary.
Exactly. God forbid any wrestlers on mic, because they will get involved in the match and it will end in a schmaz. That's another good word.
The thing I didn't understand about this match is, I want to say it was Jay Uso. I can't remember. Jay has the tattoo on his boobie.
Yeah.
I think it was Jay. He was not the legal man. At the time, the combatants in the ring were Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso are in the ring. We have Goldust and Cody beating up Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins joins the fray, so it's 2-on-2. And then all of a sudden, Jey Uso just jumps into the pile. Had he been using his head, he would have gotten involved, or either not gotten involved, or helped his partner in the ring to take out Roman Reigns, and they could have been the number one contenders. But instead, he just unexplainably or inexplicably or whatever nonsense.
Way to go, Jay.
Unreal.
Dummy.
Just doesn't make sense.
Hey,
Did not
dummy.
make sense. And then that somehow ends the match.
Yeah.
It was just whatever.
Yeah.
Whatevs.
Whatevs. Dummy. Okay. So yeah, we'll have a triple threat match at Hell in a Cell for the tag team championships. That should be a good match, actually.
Other than...
They should have a tornado match.
Other than...
Where all 6 are in the ring.
Other than the WWE title match, this is the match I'm most excited for.
It should be really well wrestled.
I just hope they get time. I mean, I don't expect a 20-minute match at all. I mean, yeah, 8-10 minutes, whatever. Yeah. But I just hope they give it a little time to breathe.
Yeah, for sure. Next up was the main event, our contract signing. And I hate these as well.
Oh, I know.
But this was okay. Steph, Trips, and HBK are all in attendance for this contract signing between Orton and Bryan. And Orton says he has survived Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker and will make sure that Bryan's first match in Hell in a Cell will be his last. Bryan then thanks Randy Orton for giving him the opportunity to prove he isn't just a B-plus player, he's an A-plus player. And he also said, thank you for showing the entire WWE universe that he is a corporate lackey.
Patsy. Did you say Patsy?
Patsy?
He said corporate Patsy.
Well, either way. Triple H then says that he's seen guys like Bryan come around time after time after time. RVD, Edge, Y2J. Popular, but they were never the guy. If they had been the guy, they would all be working for Ted Turner right now.
You know what's funny is Triple H wasn't the guy either.
No. Well, they ran with him.
He was never the guy, though.
No, he was never Stone Cold. He was never The Rock.
Those other guys did not get the push that Triple H got.
No, that's true. Triple H says he would never step into the ring with Daniel Bryan because he wants to fight a star, an A-plus player. And then HBK gets in the fold and asks what happened to Triple H? What happened to the guy who raged against the machine with him? Says all he cares about is making sure there's a new WWE champion at Hell in a Cell, and that's exactly what he's going to give them. Randy thinks HBK has some sort of an agenda going on here. But HBK promises he will do what's right for business that they love. Right as they're about to get into it, Daniel Bryan and Orton
kissed.
Yeah, they made out for a while.
Which was weird because they're fighting each other on Sunday.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it was a PG product.
Well, that's fine. What's wrong with that? A little kissing?
Can't make out.
Steph and Triple H made out a little bit.
They kissed. Kissing and making out are different because making out involves touching too.
Well, so does kissing.
The touching other things.
Okay.
Like long embraces.
Long embraces are not PG. Okay. But no, right as they're about to get into it, a semi enters the arena with Big Show driving. He gets out of the semi after he enters the arena area and tells Randy Orton to turn around, and Orton does and gets hit with a flying knee from Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan gets up onto the semi with Big Show and yes chants all over that bitch as Raw goes off air.
I feel the same way you do about main event contract signings, unless it involves the return of somebody who hasn't been around or has never been around. So, Big Show, Bow Show,
Big Show.
I don't care about it.
First off, why couldn't they have shut a door? Like, if they really wanted to keep Big Show out, why do they have a giant door open for him so he could drive that semi through? Second, why did Big Show just stand there on the semi? Why didn't he come down to the ring and, knock some fools out. Like, can you imagine if Stone Cold had driven the Zamboni down, parked it, and then just like waved at him? Like, like, no, you gotta jump over and knock some fools out. You gotta spray them with beer. You gotta do something. Don't just stand there like, hey, it's the Big Show.
I don't understand why Big Show's involved anyway. Nobody cares about him.
Because he's got no money.
But see, no one cares about him. No one's supposed to feel. No one feels sorry for the guy that he's blowing his money.
No.
And no one cares about him. Like, what's in it for him? Nothing.
A match against Triple H at SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam?
Survivor Series. I'm sorry, I was thinking SS.
You and I both screw that up.
It's kind of late.
It is late.
Yeah.
Okay, right now, in front of our listeners, what are we going to do Sunday? Our boy Maxzilla's gone. How do you want to watch this?
Well, you said you talked about your friend's house, possibly.
We could do that, or do you want to come over here? We could watch it here.
Well, we could
do it Will Smith, just the two of us.
I got a new laptop.
Oh, good for you.
No, so I might be able to stream it HDMI style to my TV for free.
Me like it.
Yeah. So that's an option.
I don't know if you got a man or not. Gotta put me in your plans or not.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was Raw. And those were our plans for Hell in a Cell, apparently.
And this show is raw.
Yeah, and we need to...
This show is so raw that I just picked up the mic and then I'm going to pass the mic to my man Matt.
What's up? Okay, but no, we got to get into Hell in a Cell predictions. We're actually going to call in right now to our boy, what's his name?
Zach Arnold.
Zach Arnold from WrestleNewz. He writes all the time. He's great articles. You got to check him out if you haven't read them yet. Zach Arnold. And we're going to call right now. Okay.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. We're glad to have you. This is contributor to WrestleNewz.com, Zach Arnold, kind enough to join us on the show and talk about his Hell in a Cell predictions. Zach, what do you? I read your article, B-level effort to plug a A-level star. I found it very interesting, and I agreed with a lot of your points. You seem as frustrated with WWE TV as I am these days.
I don't understand why for a company like WWE, especially with Hunter in place, where Hunter came into the job saying that he was going to bring a more historical point of view than Vince, that Vince ran away from history, but that Hunter would run towards history, and yet he seems to be suffering what Vince is suffering from, and they abandoned the principles that got them to where they are in the first place.
I wonder how much is still that Vince influence, or that Vince-fluence, if you will, that they really will never get away from it until he's dead, and that a lot of it is still going through him as, kind of the final decision maker, and that no matter what they come up with and plan, he has the final say, and if he doesn't like it, they're not doing it.
Well, clearly that line about Daniel Bryan and the Monday Night Wars with burying RVD and Jericho and Edge is clearly something that Hunter and Vince would think that no one else will ever think about.
I'm in complete agreement there, and I loved your logic. Is that why continue to take away value on the title and on Bryan and even Orton? That, I mean, it just, to me, it doesn't make sense. Why, as a fan, would I want to invest my money in a pay-per-view when you spend weeks telling me that this guy's not good enough, yet you're positioning him in the main event of this show?
Because the TV ratings matter more to them, and that's what they pay attention to in their bubble every week. I mean, they are stuck in a bubble. There's no question. They're in a bunker mentality, and none of the logic that they apply to the television in terms of booking is what any outsider would apply. And the scary part is that mentality that you see on WWE TV is now being copied on TNA TV, only to a much worse degree.
I agree. Hopefully they'll maybe I guess, get on a new streak or something with Hell in a Cell. We had a few good pay-per-views this summer, and we've hit a bump. Of course, Battleground was nothing to write home about, but hopefully this one will get them going. The kickoff event for it will be IC title match between Curtis Axel and Big E Langston. We saw Big E turn babyface on SmackDown last week, and he continued, I guess, that push into good guydom on Monday night with that tag match with Punk. Who do you like in this match, and why?
Well, Axel will win, and he'll win because it's a payback for the job he did on Monday. Now, I think the job he did on Monday was ridiculous. Well, they gave up on him real quick, didn't they? I mean, I'm not suggesting that the push he got was justified because he's the classic jock, but he's not the charismatic jock that his father was. So there's a ceiling to him, but they go yo-yo all the time with these guys, whether it's Dolph Ziggler or Curtis Axel. They can't make up their mind because they're changing from week to week. But we know he's going to get the payback win here. Although it scares me to death that Vince clearly sees something in Langston that none of us see.
There's several good points there. I've got a lot to say on Axel too, as far as what they've been doing with him, and it just seems like it's a crowded house, and they try to push several guys, and they end up pushing no one when they seem to go that route. Co-host Matt Bush, what do you think of this match going in?
I'm here too. Yeah. No, I actually am. I'm a fan of Big E Langston. I think he can go in the ring. I don't know if you saw his stuff in NXT, but he had a good run as champ, as a face. This face push has been coming for a long time. I really liked the tag team match they had on Monday, actually, but I think Big E wins. I think this is the start of his big push, and it's too bad for Curtis Axel, but he's so boring. Even when he was Michael McGillicuddy, I don't know if you ever saw that NXT promo where he was like, "This is the evolution of the," and he just can't talk on the mic. He needs Paul Heyman. Even with Paul Heyman, he looked like he was stuck against a glass ceiling. He was never going to beat Punk. No one ever cared about those matches. I think Big E Langston goes over on this one.
There are two things I think that have hurt Axel. One is that his name is Curtis Axel and was Michael McGillicuddy. I mean, everybody knows he's Joe Hennig, and I think when they broke away from the McGillicuddy name, it would have been perfect if he just came out, no pun intended with the perfect, and just said, "I'm Joe Hennig." Yeah, I mean, if he talks about his dad being Kurt Hennig, don't come up with this convoluted excuse for, well, we need him to have this name for his grandfather and this name for his dad. Just come out and say he's Joe Hennig. And the other thing is, they've tried to push him as a heel. He hasn't done anything heelish. To me, he hasn't come across as a heel. He's come across kind of as a baby in a way, not a baby face, but like a whiny baby, where he hasn't done anything to make you hate him. And if you want to get a good heel push, you need to do something despicable. And granted, Jim Ross isn't there anymore for them to beat up and automatically give heat to somebody for. But
Hornswoggle is.
Yeah, he is. But with Heyman on his side, he has no reason to not do something dastardly to make us just loathe him. But he's just kind of been there. And I thought at the beginning that a feud with Punk would elevate his character, and I think WWE hoped for that. It never quite happened, and all it made me do was lose interest in Punk matches, and that's really too bad. I think because of that, I think they're going to pull the plug on this experiment, at least this title run. I think Langston wins it. And like you said earlier...
Well, there is one thing I got to say about Axel, and the problem for him is that they're trying to push him as the Golden Boy. They're pushing Randy Orton as the Golden Boy, too. So when you compare the two, there's no comparison.
That's right, and that leads me to more questions about what they're doing with this vacant title. To me,
it's been a couple months.
And there's no reason that it can't be on one of the guys, whether it be Orton or Bryan. And they could do it the same exact way.
Triple H should be champion.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, Matt and I joked last month that we were convinced that Triple H was walking out the champion at Battleground, that he was going to say, "I'm the face of the WWE. I'm that guy that I'm looking for." And
Screw the kids. I'm the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought would happen. But I don't see Axel hanging on to this title just because he's almost treading into Barrett Miz territory where with the belt on him, it does nothing for the belt. Like, it's just kind of forgotten. So I think they're going to move on to Langston. And like you said before, Vince sees something in Langston, and I think he's going to want to see the title on him.
The title doesn't mean much anymore.
Yeah, and that's a shame because I come from the time of the second best guy or the guy next in line for the championship, the WWF championship at the time was that IC champion, and I really I miss that. I don't like it being the belt that gets tossed around.
But the scary part about that is you think about the Intercontinental champions, whether it's Honky Tonk or Savage or Rick Rude. They did a poll, I think it was last month on pay-per-view, where they're talking about like the best Intercontinental champion, and Rick Rude finished last.
Mm-hmm. Well, those polls are garbage, and I think I'd have to look at the list again. But I think when it came to WWE champions, there were some glaring omissions. And I mean, it's like any of those polls they have, whether it's on the app or on the website. You have to be like an 8-year-old fan to put yourself in the mind frame of the people who vote on those polls, because you can predict what the most popular choice will be if you think that everyone who voted is an 8-year-old fan, and that's unfortunate. But I
mean, with the 8-year-old fans, that's what they're appealing with El Torito.
Yeah. Which, by the way, one of my friends pointed out yesterday, they have not acknowledged at any point that there is a human being in that suit. That I think the announcers want you to believe it's an actual bull based on what they say.
They need to come out with a Cool Ranch Torito.
Yeah, although I have to say, El Torito has great taste in women because he keeps going after Renee Young.
Yeah.
Our next match, speaking of El Torito, this was announced on SmackDown tonight during the tapings. The Real Americans are going to take on Los Matadores at Hell in a Cell. My gut says they're just going to keep Los Matadores as undefeated, and that they're going to go, unfortunately, over on Cesaro and Jack Swagger, that is. What do you think about that match?
Yeah, I definitely see Swagger doing the job here. Interesting, Mantel brought out Shoe Baby, his old whip.
Yes, he did.
I think I could see something where they screw up and they set up the push for Antonio to become a babyface.
Yeah, and I can't remember if I read. I think I read your piece the other day that said that with the big swing gaining in popularity and him hyping up the crowd, that it's a given that he will become a babyface. And I'd like to see it, but I'm afraid that he might fall into lower mid card face status, like near Kofi. I really hope that Cesaro gets the push that I feel he deserves as one of the top guys. I mean, he's pound for pound one of their best wrestlers, one of their strongest guys, and I mean, I've been a big fan of his since he came into WWE, and I never got to watch him when he was with Chris Hero, when he was Claudio, but I'd always heard about him and became a big fan as soon as I saw him for the first time. Another tag match we have for the tag team championship. That's right.
There's a third person here, guys.
No offense to you, Matt. This was such a garbage match in my book that I thought I was script. But no, Matt, yeah, your call.
I love Cesaro. I think he's getting the push he finally deserves. He's showing off his strength. I mean, the Los Matadors haven't lost yet, but it's hard for me because they're a joke act. They're another Santino. They're another Tons of Funk. Whatever. I just don't see them being serious. And if they're really serious about Cesaro, they're going to let him win. So I'm going with the Real Americans in this one.
What I could almost see happening is Swagger taking the loss, as you said, Zach, and then Cesaro. I don't want to say Cesaro blaming it on him, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe Dutch gets mad Zeb gets mad at Cesaro for not helping Swagger, and they end up booting him. I don't know. Maybe
Cesaro gets pinned, and he said he's not a real American. That's why he got pinned. Because he's from the Europeans,
Switzerland. Moving on to the next tag match for the titles, it's a triple threat match. We've got, are they officially going by Rhodes Dynasty or Rhodes Brothers? Please tell me it's not Team Rhodes.
How about Rhodes is?
Yeah, the Rhodes is against.
Is it Crossroads?
See, I like Code Dust. I'm pushing Code Dust.
Yes.
But if we're going by WWE logic, it would be Team Code Dust. They're taking on the Shield and the Usos. This is a match I'm very excited for. I thought the Usos looked great on Monday, and they've looked great in recent months. Shield, I think, coming in as a challenger to the title for the first time in a little while, adds a nice little element. And I'm loving this Gold Dust revival. It's been a blast. What are your thoughts on this match, Zach?
I think the champs retain in that, but I think the Usos have a role to play in the finish, and they'll help out dispatch of the Shield, and then we'll get our program there with the two babyface teams going out at Survivor Series.
What are your thoughts, Matt?
I think it's too early after that great moment for the Roses to to drop the titles already. I don't know how they're going to win. They'll probably pin an Uso. Maybe turn the Usos heel. I don't know, but. Yeah, definitely the Roses have to retain it.
I think there's something greater for the Shield here, and I'm thinking that Rollins, I'll just say Rollins is going to take the loss. Rhodes family retains, and I think we will see Usos versus the Rhodes down the road, or the Rhodeses. The Rhodeses. And I think that there could be, I don't want to say a split in the Shield, but I think you're going to start to see them evolve as individuals, and this will be the Kickstarter. I don't see any benefit to them regaining the titles, especially this soon. I keep it on Goldust and Cody. The other match, this one I don't know how I feel about. It's one of two Hell in a Cell matches at the pay-per-view. It's CM Punk in a handicap match against Ryback and Paul Heyman. Zach, what are you thinking about this one?
I'm thinking Heyman takes the fall here, and then they set up the Lesnar match at Survivor Series.
That's
fair enough.
I mentioned that I watched this with three other people last night, and I mentioned that I think this will set up a Lesnar Survivor Series match, and they looked at me like I was crazy. But I think we may see Brock, although I know they probably aren't really big on not advertising him for an appearance. But I just feel like he's going to come out to save Heyman. And that's how we'll see this feud extended with Punk and Lesnar. I think Punk gets the win, but I just worry about the damage it does to Ryback unless they can build him up to be strong somehow. But I have to say Punk gets this victory, and I think we will see Punk Lesnar at Survivor Series.
I'm going to CM Punk, of course. I just want this feud to end. It's been way too long. Let him get his revenge.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but have you noticed they've done some slight burying? Hunter's done some slight burying of Punk in the last few weeks. You noticed that after they paired him with Curtis Axel and that didn't work, that they decided to give Punk the treatment by pairing him with Lon Killings, and then they paired him with Langston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true.
And now Truth was hawking merch, as you pointed out in your column today.
Yeah, he was
giving people 20% off if they typed in the code word Truth,
because he's got a lot of pull backstage. But no, I'm going to CM Punk. I just want this mercifully to end this feud. It's been a disaster to me, really. There's been some good stuff. I love the Ryback and Paul Heyman stuff. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was funny. But it just needs to end. Just let him get his comeuppance, Let Punk put him in the Anaconda Vice and cry, make him cry or something. Let it be over and let CM Punk get into the Triple H, Daniel Bryan situation, because he's anti-establishment. He would hate this more than anyone on the roster. The fact that he hasn't had any run-ins with Triple H during this whole time pisses me off, frankly, because he's the Stone Cold character. Stone Cold. Could you imagine Stone Cold not having a say in what Vince was doing back in the day? Heck no. You got to get CM Punk into that main event scene, and they need to end the feud right now.
I've got more to say on that, and we'll get to that title match, and I'll add my 2 cents. We have our second Hell in a Cell match. That's the WWE title match, but we have Alberto Del Rio and John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cena making his return, and I think anyone who watches WWE television closely, and again, I feel like I'm a broken record, as you pointed out in your column, this is, I think, clearly a panic move by WWE, bringing him back. I have mixed feelings about this, but if it goes the way I think it will go, I'm not too concerned. What's your take on this, Zach?
The parallels between this return and Hogan's return in 1990 are scary. Hogan had wrestled the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania in 90. He did the job. He passed the torch. And then he took a few months off, and then he came back for SummerSlam to wrestle against Earthquake. And they did a DQ finish to do that program for the rest of the year. And the reason they brought Hogan back is because they were worried about the Warrior experiment falling apart, which is what's happening with management here with Daniel Bryan. They can't let this guy stand on his own 2 feet. So they panic. They see the TV ratings go down to a 2.7 each week. They're like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then they see the merchandise sales, and they're like, Cena's the guy there. We can't have this guy missing. And so they rush this guy back from a torn triceps, which is a year-long injury, and they rush him back in the 2 months. And then now they're going to put him against Del Rio, because Del Rio flatters against anyone who isn't John Cena in terms of heat. And I'm thinking that they're going to do some sort of DQ finish here where Del Rio attacks that triceps and they make it personal, and then they have some sort of gimmick match in Survivor Series.
This one, I have no idea what's going to happen. I could see Cena winning in 8 seconds or something, just to keep him from injury. I could see them not even having a match where they attack like backstage and he hurts his arm even more. The only thing I know for sure is that Cena will not lose, so I'm going to pick John Cena.
I think we're going to get Cena to in WWE's eyes. It's a shame that they even bother looking at TV ratings with how people interact with the show now, whether it's through DVR, through Hulu Plus, through just following on social media. They haven't given Daniel Bryan a chance, and to blame Daniel Bryan for any of their, I guess, ratings, troubles is a shame, because they've really kind of set it up to fail, and they, like you said, they haven't given him a chance. So I think they've got Cena hyped or build for this match. Clearly, they think, well, people will invest in this now because John Cena is going to be part of it. I think he wins the title. And I think it will be a fairly quick match. Maybe it will be a 1 minute quick squash, or maybe it will be, a 8-minute match. I don't see it going, deep or anything like that, quite lengthy. But I think right away, an angry Del Rio will put Cena in a cross arm breaker after the match and injure him or re-injure him, and then that will open up the door for Sandow to come down and cash in, win his title. That will take Cena off. At least off from wrestling, but I think he can be, present for promos if need be. I know one suggestion that one of our buddies who has contributed to the show has said is Cena could win in a quick match, and then, they give him another month to just cut promos and be on TV but not wrestle and get ready for Survivor Series. But I'm still going with a Cena victory, an injury from Del Rio, and then a quick cash in by Sandow.
You just brought up something that we totally forgot about. Ever since he's won the Money in the Bank, what the hell have they been doing with King and Sandow?
He's only lost for like 5 months in a row.
Yeah, it's unreal, and we've talked about this over and over again, both privately and on the show. Is that Money in the Bank winner? It's like they say, well, you're guaranteed your title, so you are just booked to lose until then. And to me, I think that hurts the title, and it certainly hurts the person. It doesn't give them any credibility once they do cash in and win. But yeah, he's an automatic loss.
It's like they slotted him in the Lanny Poffo role.
And it's funny that you say that, because I remember when Leaping Lanny Poffo made that transition into the Genius, and right away when I saw Damian Sandow, I said, this is genius, this is 21st century genius, and he really is in that role now.
It sucks.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to shake them for so many reasons, and this is one of them. I'm going to give them a chance here now that Cody Rhodes is back and making some noise. But I think that if and when Sandow cashes in and hopefully wins, he will, be put in the spot that he deserves. But that's what I see happening Sunday. It's a perfect opportunity to give Cena a little break. It adds one more title victory to his haul, and they can have him back. And also it puts even more heat on Del Rio for at least the little kids. I mean, I think there probably will be several people who cheer if he puts Cena on the imaginary shelf here for a little while. But that's why I think Cena's coming back so quickly, is that they've got that Sandow cash in their back pocket to use. Our final match is the Brian Orton match, and that's a Hell in a Cell match. It's for the vacant WWE Championship. I have a lot to say about this one, but I'll let you guys go first. What do you think, Zach?
The scary part about this is Hell in a Cell, the whole concept of Hell in a Cell used to be, okay, we're going to have a cage match, and this time we really mean it. We're not going to have interference. And yet, if you look at the two Hell in a Cell cage matches on this pay-per-view, the automatic thinking is about outside interference.
Yeah.
I don't. It scares me. If I'm to buy into the concept that there's no outside interference in this match, then the finish will be Shawn Michaels doing the right thing and ignoring Triple H's orders and doing the 3 count for Daniel Bryan to win. But if there's outside interference, I have no idea where they're going with this.
I'm going with Daniel Bryan, and I think this is actually going to be a stepping stone towards WrestleMania. And I've called this before because I think the person to end Triple H's career has to be HBK. And this is the perfect opportunity for them to get that in motion. If they were going to have that one last match for HBK at Mania, you could have them screw over Triple H here. Maybe Triple H gets into the cage, orders a 1-2-3 count on Daniel Bryan, and instead he gets met with a super kick and gets 1-2-3, make sure Daniel Bryan wins. That will push forward basically every storyline, and it could really be a main event kind of a match at WrestleMania. And I think that's how it's going to end up going. So I'm taking Daniel Bryan for the win.
Every part of me wants to say that Bryan wins this match, but the reason I'm picking Randy Orton is because Shawn Michaels has been so over the top in his support for Daniel Bryan that it just reeks of a double cross at Hell in a Cell. The problem I have with the actual Hell in a Cell matches now is that the Cell was created at a time when WWE was at its most violent, and recent Hell in a Cell matches have really been contained to the Cell.
Yeah.
There hasn't been...
Oh, that one with Ryback and CM Punk where they...
The Monday Night Raw?
No.
Because they had a Monday Night Raw Hell in a Cell match after the initial Hell in a Cell.
No, I think it was after he had been screwed out by Brad Maddox.
Okay.
Ryback got up on the cage and gave him the shell shock on top of the cage.
Yeah, and I remember that. Actually, I think it was a TLC match that they had on Raw after that, which Shield helped again.
Yeah, that was a good match.
That was a very good match. But I think you're going to see HBK screw over Bryan, and almost not in the heelish way like he's done in the past. I think he did it to The Rock back when they had the Triple H Rock feud, and Michaels was the commissioner and he was special guest refereeing. I think it's going to be in a way that I kind of have to do this, or he's making me do this. I don't know exactly how they'll explain that, since really he's not dependent on WWE. He's retired now, but that's what I see happening, and I see the months from now leading to a breakdown between Triple H and HBK, which would lead to HBK eventually siding again with Bryan and being the one to take out Triple H at WrestleMania, so we can get that HBK Triple H match, which I don't really need to see, but I think Triple H thinks we all want to see that match.
I want to see it. Have they ever fought at Mania?
They've never fought at Mania, no.
The number one question of this match, though, is... will HBK wear his bicycle shorts to go along with his referee uniform?
I'm hoping to see small jean shorts with the pocket liners showing.
Ooh, that'd be good too.
So I think Orton will have the title at the end of the night, but everything else leading up to this has told me Bryan will win. But I think I'm just going to go with Randy Orton to win this one. The long part, I guess the way I want to extend this is CM Punk going back to his feud with Heyman. I'm old school. I like the months long feuds that really develop, that no one gives a chance to breathe anymore. But this feud has felt so hollow to me because it hasn't involved the WWE Championship. And to extend what Matt was saying in his argument earlier, I'm not buying that Punk would not care about the WWE Championship. And as soon as he inserts himself back into that title feud with Triple H on the other end of it as the authority figure, I'm all in. But I just hope Daniel Bryan doesn't suffer, and I want him to get his due, whether that's before Punk comes back into the picture or while he's in the picture. So I hope this somehow I hope the Raw after Hell in a Cell starts something new with all of these key players involved. And Zach, I got to thank you for joining us. I've been reading your stuff for a while, and it's some of the most enjoyable stuff I find on WrestleNewz. And when we were thinking of who to have on as a guest, you were the first one who came to mind, because I thought I want to get your takes in person, because I really enjoy what you write, and keep it up.
I appreciate the good comments, because a lot of comments on the website have not been very positive.
Well, it's funny because I've read through some stuff, and then I've gone back to see the byline, and I've been like, I knew this was a Zach Arnold piece. Oh, yeah. You can I'm marking out for you right now, man.
I appreciate the good words. I'll be around anytime you need me.
All right. Do you have a Twitter handle or a website you want to plug?
Yeah, plug yourself.
My Twitter handle is Fight Opinion. The website is fightopinion.com. I cover MMA, but I've been covering wrestling my whole life. I've been in the business, so I'm not a smart mark. I know what I'm talking about. Trust me. Promise.
All right. Well, thanks, Zach. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Got it.
All right. Peace. All right. Well, that's our Hell in a Cell preview, and that's our show for you this week. Want to thank Zach Arnold once again. Want to thank WrestleNewz. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at ImmortalsPcast, at 97Bush, at Jimmy Bellamy, at WrestleNewz with a Z. And I already forgot his Twitter handle, but get
Fight Opinion.
Fight Opinion, at Fight Opinion. Thanks again. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.